All right, hello everyone. Thank you for coming to see us today. We're so excited to be able to actually talk to you guys at last. We've been practicing this for several long weeks now, so we're glad to actually do this in front of people. So my name is Polly, and this is my co-presenter today, Yuya. We'll be talking to you guys about what it's like to be an iOS developer. So we'll be going through what kind of software do we use to code, what kind of code do we actually write, and how do we upload our apps to the App Store. But first, let us introduce a little about ourselves. So, my name is Polly. I'm originally from the UK. I've been here so long now that I don't actually sound British anymore, so yeah, it pains my heart, but there you go. I've been working in game localization up till now, and I started to code around half a year ago. I decided to do a career change, and just in my private life, I use a lot of Apple products, so I figured that's part of my coding journey. I would love to try my hand at creating my own app. So that's why I'm here with Yuya today, but let's introduce Yuya.
All right, thank you, Polly, and hello everyone, my name is Yuya. And it's funny, we've been working on this project for about 5 or 6 weeks, but it's actually the first time seeing each other. So yeah, I hope she didn't surprise how short I am. But yeah, anyway, talking about myself, I was working as a tour guide in one of the famous tourist spot in Japan called Asakusa until last March, and then wanted to start something new. So at the same time, I joined Code Chrysalis foundation course, and then I started learning from JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. But now I'm interested in making an iOS app. So finally, Polly and I decided to work on together for this project. Okay, so today we are mostly going to cover what Xcode Swift is, and also how to publish your app onto the App Store. So by the end of this presentation, you will know the basics of what it's like to be an iOS developer. And also for the learning purposes, we also built our baby app, which is called Chance of Brain. So we would like to demo that for you first.
All right, let me just set it up for you guys. Oops, sorry. Okay, so currently streaming is from my phone right now, so if we just open up the app, it's a Weather app, so in the background what the code is doing right now is it's just contacting the Weather API to get the information for the location where we currently are, and that will show up, and there you go, Mita-ku is currently 27 degrees. Apparently it's thundery outside. I actually think it's actually sunny outside, but this is something you get with Japanese rainy season. The weather always comes back as thunderstorm. Let's check out what is it like in London. It's 10 degrees. It's actually sunny. A bit chilly over there though. It's not very warm at the moment. Let's check out Paris. And it's a little bit warmer, but still pretty chilly. But there you go. That's a demo of our app.
All right, thank you for the beautiful demo, Polly. So yeah, I heard today it's gonna rain in Tokyo, and also please be careful if you live in Mita, stay safe from the lightning struck. But yeah, anyway, I want to describe what kind of process we took for making this app. So first of all, we talked about what type of apps we want to create, and then some of the examples were Instagram clone app, group journal app, and obviously the weather app. And after that, we talk about what type of features we want to add for app. And then finally, we decided we decided to making a weather app. So some of the features were a user can type the location or select the location by GPS, and then check the weather, and then whether he or she needs to bring an umbrella, something like that. And then we started coding. So once you have an idea of the app, the question you might want to ask next is, how do we actually start writing our code? So, if you want to make an iOS app, Xcode is going to be your best friend. It's made by Apple, so you can make an app for Apple devices, and also it comes with built-in interface builder, which allow us to create beautiful graphical user interfaces. And also, since it's made by Apple, it might not be too surprising to hear that it's only available for Macs. So sorry for Windows users. But if you want to try Xcode, you need to get hold of a Mac from somewhere else. And also, I actually have a good news. for those of you who have never tried using Xcode or using like Windows or other laptops, Polly is going to show what Xcode looks like.
Yes, thank you, Yuya. Okay, before we dive into it, I'm going to show it to you on my computer, but before that, I'd just like to take a minute to explain what you're going to see on screen, because Xcode gives you a lot of information, so it can be quite overwhelming to start off with. So let's just go through that first. So this is a screenshot that we took from whilst we were working on our project. Immediately you can see there's just so much on the screen, you're just like, what is going on here? So let's just break it down. First of all, on the left-hand side, we have our project tree. So this is all the files that we have in our project right now. In the middle, we have, this is called the interface builder, which Yuya briefly mentioned, and I'll talk a little bit about this more in depth in a second. Basically, this is where we can see exactly what is going to show up on our app. To the right-hand side, this is the utility area. So any options that you have related to anything that's on screen, buttons or background or whatever, you can choose like the color, the font size, anything that will be on this side. And finally, the debug area. So any errors that come up whilst you're using the app or anything that you print to the console, this will show up at the bottom. So this is just a general overview of how the screen is set up. So let's actually take a look at it. So it looks exactly what you just saw. But this section in the center is the interface builder. So this is all the code to do with what you can see on screen right now. And one of the really cool things about Xcode is that it actually provides you with a drag and drop library that you can use to put things on screens. This is really nice. Like, it's so easy to kind of do things. So let me show you what I mean. You probably can't see my cursor too well, but right now I'm up in the upper right-hand side. So if I just click on this plus button here, you can see we have a list of all the things that we can add onto our app. So I just choose a button here, I just drag it onto the screen, and like as simple as that, we have our button. Just make it a little bit bigger. But yeah, once you have the element on screen, you can manipulate it however you like with these options on the right-hand side. So for example, let's change the background color to orange. And there you go, like we have, as simple as that, we have this giant ugly orange button on our app, and like it's really cool because like having come from trying to do HTML and CSS and all that stuff in JavaScript, like manipulating the DOM and stuff, this is like the easiest thing ever. Like a child could do this, so that was really nice. But let's get rid of that because it's ugly. But yeah, a really nice thing about Xcode as well is that because it's by Apple for Apple products, you kind of have access to all of that shared knowledge of, you know, like Apple design and stuff like that. So for example, if I come down here to device, if I click on here, I can actually, there's a list of different device sizes that you can test out your app. So for example, let's go down to like iPhone 4S. If we want to see what those users are seeing, you can just click on that and immediately you can see what does the app look like for users of different sizes of device. So this is really cool. Like it allows you to check, make sure that everyone's you know, seeing the same sort of thing and that nobody's having any graphical issues. So that's really cool. Lastly, one really nice thing about Xcode is that Apple actually included all of their official documentation within Xcode. So, for example, say you have this code that you wrote like months and months ago and you're not quite sure, like you can't remember what's going on. You didn't write enough comments, which is, you know, a very common thing to do. But say I've written this function here, like text field did end in editing, and I'm thinking, where did I, you know, what's this going on here? If I press Option on my keyboard and you click on the function, Apple will give us some information about it. So you can see I have a pop-up here, and this is basically describing like where the function was first declared, what parameters it takes, and some information about it. This also works for like elements that are built into Swift. So for example, maybe I'm thinking, what's this UI text field? Do the same, press Option, and then click on it. And this is like actually this is a summary from Apple's official documentation. So instead of kind of jumping out of the screen at the minute and going to like NPN or Googling, like, you know, whatever, what is this thing? I can see it right here in the screen. So this is really nice. Like it kind of helps you not to sort of get out of the zone and when you have to go and Google other things on other screens. So that's really cool. But yeah, that's a quick overview of Xcode.
All right, thank you, Polly. And now you guys know how to use an Xcode or how to make a beautiful orange button. And talking about the design, I want to cover another thing, which is an up icon. And this is something we created for this project, like navy background and simple umbrella shape. So like at this point, I want to cover like how we made this icon and also some tips we can provide for you. So in order to make an up icon, you need to have some sort of graphic design tools. And we use Adobe Illustrator for making our up icon. But for those of you who do not have like a graphic design tool on your local machine, I would recommend using Canva. And if you go to this website, you can easily create your app icon for free. And also, you can see like you can also create a business card, presentation slides, and also, especially for now, like you can make the virtual background for Zoom meeting. And I've been using Canva for about half a year, and I really like this because it's really easy to use and then simple design. So I can definitely recommend using this website if you want to. And also another tip is you have to provide different sized icons if you want to upload your app onto the App Store. So for example, if you open your iPhone, you will see app icon on your home screen, but also like some other places like notifications or App Store settings, like pretty much anywhere with different size like that. But no one wants to make them manually. So I can also recommend another website, which is an app icon generator. So if you go this and then by simply drag and drop your 1024 by 1024 image to here, those different size icons are auto-generated. So all you need to do is just grab the file and then drop in to your Xcode project, and ta-da, you will get different sized icons. Alright, so now you know how to use Xcode and how to make a beautiful icon. So let's talk about the Swift programming language. So before I hand it over to Polly, I want to describe a little bit about Swift. And it was released in like 2014 by Apple. And I wanted to take a look at this survey result from Stack Overflow. And actually, Swift was the number 6 most loved programming language last year. But the thing is, yesterday, one of our friends sent us a link for the developer survey 2020. And Swift dropped down to number 9 most loved programming language. But yeah, that's about Swift, and I can hand it over to Polly now.
Thank you. Yes, it might have dropped down a few places compared to last year, but actually we really enjoyed our experience working with Swift. Coming from a JavaScript background, Swift was quite a different experience for us, and let us tell you why. Well, the biggest challenge for us was the fact that JavaScript is loosely typed, and Swift is strongly typed, so this is something that we've never come across so far. What does this mean? Let's take a look at some code to show the difference. So in order to declare a variable in JavaScript, we might say something like let greeting equals hello. It's pretty obvious what's going on here. We're just making a variable and then storing the string hello in the variable. Really simple, really easy. To do the same thing in Swift, you might say something like let greeting colon string equals hello. And you can see here straight away, we're explicitly saying, okay, greeting is going to hold string data only. Once we've declared it to hold string data, we cannot then say, we can't store any numbers in here, we can't store any booleans in here. This variable greeting will only hold string data and string data only for the rest of its life. So yeah, this kind of inflexibility of Swift was a new thing that we hadn't come across so far in JavaScript. We got a lot of errors when we were doing our coding just because we had the wrong type of data in our variable. Yeah, Xcode will give you like errors like straight away. It's like, hey, you got error. I know, but
it was a nightmare.
Yeah, we had a lot of errors there. But this also rolls over into functions as well. Like, I was kind of surprised to see how we write functions in Swift. This is an example of a function from our code, but here we're just getting the weather information here. So we have fun fetch weather brackets city name string. So sorry, this mic is broken. Anyway, so no, it's not fine. Sorry, where was I? So in order to, when we declare the function, we have to say explicitly what the parameter name is. So here is city name, and explicitly that we're going to store string data. I'm just going to put this down, like holding it. That we're going to store string data in the parameter. So like this is really, it's really clear, it's really obvious what's going on. When we call the function, again, we also have to say like what is the parameter name, and then we pass in the information. So this is like really rigid for me, coming from a JavaScript background. Like you don't have to ever declare what the name of it is. Like you do put the name, but like you don't have to repeat yourself here. So it felt quite rigid. It felt quite strict. So this was, yeah, it was just kind of a new way of thinking about how we're dealing with our data and just being very careful with what types of data we have. But yeah, I think the rise of obviously like TypeScript and all these other strongly typed languages shows that this is probably the way forward where programming is moving towards, because it helps you to get rid of all your errors at an earlier stage than JavaScript, which lets you just run on with your errors and it will just, you know, crash your program later on. But yeah, I don't know, how did you feel with Yuya?
So yeah, for me, I think for both of us, but as Molly mentioned, like we came from like JavaScript background. We have like code, like we wrote down a lot of codes for JavaScript, so it was kind of hard to get used to the Swift syntax at first. But like once you get used to it, like it's not that difficult. But I still need a time to figure out, so I would love to learn it more. Yeah. Is your mic working?
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, and by now, you already know like how to make your app, like how to build your app. So let's talk about how to upload your app to the App Store. All right. So in order to upload to App Store, you have to submit your app to Apple first, and then they will review your app. And if your app is approved, yeah, you will see your app on the App Store like within like a few days. However, if your app is rejected, you will get an email from them. But yeah, like with which part should be fixed, so like you can try it again. So that's about like basics you should know. And also, so submitting your app to Apple is not that difficult because like you only need to do like two things. The first one is you are going to. Thank you.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, like you first of all, you need to sign up for the Apple's developer program, and also after that, it's okay. After that, you're gonna fill the information of your app on the App Store Connect. So yeah, let's take a look at Apple's developer program first. So in order to sign up, you need to pay $99 per year. But once you signed up, you can get lots of benefits. And one thing I like is you can get the analytics of your app once you upload your app to the App Store. So yeah, like you can gain the insights, you can see the app performance, which is I think really cool. And then after that, you're gonna fill the information of the app. And some of the basic information are like the name of the app, the language, or something like that. And also at the same time, you have to provide this description of your app, or keyword, or like screenshots. But those things are really important. You have to spend time on keyword research or App Store optimization. And I'm going to explain why. So for example, if I go to App Store and then type task management on the search bar, the result will shows up, which is like basically to-do apps, but pretty much like same functionality, and then like they're all like resemble. And then like the list kind of goes on. So if your app is invisible in the App Store, you won't get downloaded. Your app won't get downloaded. And also, if someone takes a look at your app on the App Store, you have to convince them that your app is worth downloading. So that's why you have to spend time for like keyword research, App Store optimization, in order to rank highly and then get more downloads. So yeah, that's about the information. And finally, you will submit your app with those information to Apple, and if your app is approved by Apple, you will see them on App Store, finally. Great. So hope your app is on the App Store and then gets lots of downloaded, and you will be famous, hopefully.
Yes, so to wrap it up, today we've told you guys about Xcode, about Swift, and about how to publish your app to the App Store and become rich and famous. Maybe. Yeah, thank you guys for listening. We had a ton of fun researching and making our app with this, even though we had so many problems with Swift. But yeah, hopefully you guys are inspired to make your own apps now, and thank you guys for listening.